All right, welcome back to another Coach Blaker's podcast. We have a special guest here. I think this is number 10, so that's another special number. We have a special guest here. This is minus 2 coins, also known as Zach. I mean, hey, they know my government, they can know yours. He has a stream. Go ahead and check it out. I'll let you guys know at the end of the podcast, of course, that he has one, but it is minus 2 coins. That's his stream. I'll link it in the description below. Check his stream out if you guys want to see memes. That's the place to go. 100%. So yeah, good friend of mine actually. Been coaching him for a really long time. One of the people that I met a long time ago. And even though I don't coach him, every single day, of course, I still try to offer tips and stuff like that because is what I do as a person in general. So let's just kind of start this here and let's get going. So the first thing is, who are you and what do you do? So who is minus 2 coins? How do you even come up with that name, man?
So we were in St. Louis for spring finals.
Mm-hmm.
It was in 2019.
Okay.
And we were playing Mario Party.
The game.
Yeah, the game. It was either the night before or the night after.
Mm-hmm.
And the way new Mario Party works is there's a special block that you can use, but there's always like a random not actual number of moving tiles.
Oh yeah, I need to check it about.
And the ghost Boo had a minus 2 coins block.
Uh-huh.
And in the first game, I'm pretty sure I hit that block 8 out of 10 times.
No
in
way.
The second game, it was like 7 out of 10. And it was just a big meme.
That's actually a really good story to the name. Honestly, it's better than my story for my name. But no, usually you ask people what's your how do you get your name? They're like, oh no, I just thought of it randomly. But yeah, it's actually kind of nice to have a story about that. What do you do?
I sell cars.
Oh,
and
a car salesman. Better hide your wallet. You know he's coming. No, I'm just.
Yep, I am coming after you all. I'm only here to hurt you guys.
I think people give salesmen a bad rep. Whenever you hear them, it's like, you're a salesman, you're a car salesman, you're just gonna try to sell me a junky car. I've met so many good salesmen. I can't even think of any times I've met any bad ones. Honestly, I mean, I know that there are some, but
I will walk up to a car and try and get them to stop and talk to me,
mm-hmm.
and they'll be looking like I have a gun.
Yeah,
or a knife, and I'm coming to kill them. That's
exactly. Awesome. It's like people just, man. Just the
I'm
way
an awful person. That's all there is to it.
It's like, dude, you're a freaking salesman, dude. You're gonna just try to sell me something I don't need. That's literally all salesmen around the world, though. If you're selling anything, everybody just looks at you like you're the devil. It's like, bro.
Yeah, it's true. We are all of us in one. You actually have to sell your soul to be any way decent in sales.
Dude, actually, I'm not gonna lie. I was in sales for a little bit. The thing is, you have to. It's like. I'll just say this. It's like a YouTube thumbnail. You gotta try to get them in the door. Then once you get them in the door, you're not all that bad. But the problem is, they don't know you. Therefore, they don't know what this door is. And sometimes they're not trying to knock on it. You kind of got to open it for them and bring them in, which some people just don't want. Some people think they're going to get pressured into buying something. And it's like, salesmen, they do want to sell you stuff. But at the same time, if they're actually a good salesman, they're not going to force something on you. They're going to make you want to get it. So, yeah, I think
exactly.
I think a good salesman definitely is just something you don't see that often because everybody, wants to have that commission. But good salesmen are hard to find. Okay. So you're not, just to reiterate here, you're not trying to be an LCS pro.
I mean, I did teach double lift all he knows. Don't get me wrong. But one day I will save NA from the NA RAM.
Okay. Second question here is, how did you first learn about League of Legends, and when did you start playing?
I started playing seriously MSI Season 6.
Okay.
I had watched it online. A few months before that, I was just at college, and my friends at college played, and they were like, hey, try this game. And I didn't really care for it at first because I was dog shit at it, and I had never played a game on the computer. Okay. I was always a console player.
I got you.
And then I was watching what happened to be MSI. I think it was Flash Wolves was playing or something. And I think TSM was there, maybe. And I was just like, huh. Actually, it must have been CLG was there. I must have seen TSM for the first time in summer of that year.
So you actually like went to just like a straight up LCS game?
No. I was watching it on Twitch.
Oh, you're watching it on Twitch. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I was watching Flash Wolves, and I was like, hey, this doesn't look too bad. So I started like actually playing and actually trying to get better.
Mhm.
And from level 14, my friend group stuck me on jungle because nobody in the friend group jungled. And I remember the first time I jungled, I wasn't sure if I should take Smite.
Oh God.
And just by chance, I happened to take Ignite, and my friend told me after the game, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's a good thing you took that, or else you would not have had a good time."
So then you said you used to play jungle. So then what do you play now?
ADC.
Are you happy with that choice?
Yeah, I have so much fun in all of my games.
Okay, because I know that you went to support for a little bit. Why did you go to support there? Like, what happened? What was your thought process?
I like a lot of support champs. I already know the 2v2s, and support, the higher you go, is, if not the most important, probably the second most important role in the game.
That's true.
And second most influential. But in elos like me, where I'm in gold and plat, you play a playmaker like Thresh, and you're making plays all game, and nobody does anything, and you just die.
Yeah.
Because you want to make a play. Like there's so much difficulty in keeping being sane and playing support and low elo. Like you'd hate yourself.
Oh, dang! I mean, yeah, I know what you're feeling. Like when I play support, I mean, as you guys know, I play every single role, and when climbing with support, I can only play like 2 or 3 games. Like the amount. The amount of stupidity that is on some players is ridiculous. Because then it's okay if you're not that good. I'm okay with that. If you're not that good, I'm like, dude, we all have those games. We all don't act like you are good and then just flame everybody on the team. And it's just like, okay, that you died because you got camped by the jungle. No, you died because you're overextended. I didn't die one time, but you as an ADC got killed 10 times. I don't really. Apparently, you're the only one who got screwed in this situation here. And it's like, dude, come on. Like, it's just an argument every single time. And the worst part is, like, you can't play your role without them. And they can't play their role without you. So if this dude's freaking AFK typing all the time, what do you do? It's like, I guess I'm just going to roam around and, like, hope someone plays the game properly. If everybody does it,
right,
then you're just screwed. So, yeah, I will say, like, when you're playing support, the number one thing is mental. Like, mental is good for every role, but, like, support, man, if you don't have mental, you're just not going to have a good time.
You better be real good at flipping a fucking coin.
Exactly. Okay. So the next question here is: was ranked always your goal, or did it just happen? And you were already talking a little bit about it, saying that, okay, well, I was level 14, then I seen, this game, and then I was like, okay, I want to start getting better. But even as your journey from 14 to 30, was ranked like still something you were thinking about hopping into, or you got into it later?
Yeah. So my competitiveness drives me, and that's why I can't get away from League, because nobody does games like Riot does, unfortunately.
True.
Riot is very good at that.
True.
And they're good at stabilizing scene too. So the only like swap game, as a side note, is Dota, but I don't want to learn a bunch of the same game with all new abilities, essentially, right?
Yeah.
That would be awful.
Well, does Pokemon Unite?
There is now.
Just a little simple version of League of Legends, kind of like it.
Right.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, ranked was always the goal. I just wanted to be better than my friends, to tell them that they're trash. Okay. And I did first season. So end of season 6. Or wait. End of season 6. I play silver, and most of my friends were bronze, and I said, you guys suck.
I've been there.
I just rubbed it in their face. It was awesome.
It really feels good. It does. And then, somehow there's that one random friend that's just somehow just like skyrockets 82 ranks, and you're like, well, I was better than you for a point in time, and I think that counts as a win. Nobody cares about nowadays.
The small victories.
For real. Okay, so it's safe to say that that wasn't your main intention until, you actually started getting a little bit more active into the game. The next thing you hear was just, how was your rank climb before you met me? Before you met any coach, actually. So how was your rank climb?
So, like, it was kind of okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I started silver before iron was a thing. I played silver.
Okay.
I demoted for a short time, and I remember I played a Mumu for 3 games and instantly promoted back because I had this like hybrid build on him where I would build some AP.
Uh-huh.
It was like an AP bruiser of Mumu. And
so pretty much what's happening nowadays, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, like you don't go straight tank right now, like right? Like you just want to fight. And, so I had this build, and as long as the enemy team didn't have somebody who was smart enough to invade me,
true,
I just win the game because I hit 6 and the game's over.
Yeah,
because I just
especially in lower elo
everywhere.
Especially in lower elo, man. Like you just fly on somebody and it's like okay, and then the people are just like gonna walk to the person you catch out, and it's like this is good because I have a thing that kills everybody in the radius when I ult.
Yeah.
And they, they don't even pay attention to that.
And I wasn't even smart enough at that point to like think about flash ulting and then having Q for their escape, or just walking at them all scary like I would just either hit my Q or I would just walk away.
Yeah.
Like I was
But it's safe to say silver nowadays is just not the same silver back then.
I agree. Yeah.
Silver now players are actually like if they were playing before, those silver players I just don't think would be silver. They'd at least be plat. And it's funny to know that as time goes on, as seasons progress, these players get better and better. Therefore, it's like we kind of have to get better and better. And I think it's kind of cool in a way. And as I said, you're right. Riot has ways of making their game like really good, especially making you want to play, making you want to get better. The problem is the community. But let's say if we're in a perfect world and every single season, everybody just gets better and better and better. That means you have to get better and better to stay up.
Yep.
And that just creates like a whole new just like rank right there. Every season, boom, we just got to keep improving. There's not a time where you can say I'm the same skill level throughout every single season and I'm always the same rank. Even if people don't notice it, they are improving. Whether they like, okay, I'm playing and I stop because I'm gold and I just want rewards. You still had to basically get back. Whether you had a friend help you or you did it yourself, you have to play differently than the way you played in the season before. And I think that's really cool. That's essentially just the game updating itself without actually doing anything to you, but it's still directly impacting you. It's freaking nuts.
And it's also weird, just as a side note, like, so the first time you hit gold, and like, that was always a big thing. True. Especially with my friend group being like silver at best, right? Like they just weren't good at the game.
Yeah.
Hitting gold was a big deal, and then the next season I hit it in like 50 games.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait, gold really what?
Yeah.
And then like, plat the next season after that. Like, so I constantly got one rank better until I hit plat. So it was silver, then gold, then plat.
Yeah.
And then I've stagnated at plat a little bit. I hit plat 1 the season after, and then I was just like plat 4. Like I peaked plat 2 that season, but I took like 6 months off. Then I trolled ranked because I didn't care, and then I started caring again, and now I'm here. So
got you.
We stagnated a little bit, but it was mostly because not caring. For one season at least. So yeah, like getting back to that rank, other than this season it's been the hardest to get back to plat. Like
I feel like that's just a player base. Weird. It's not actually like skill level.
Yeah.
Unless you're like inherently better than a lot of these players that are intentionally being bad, you're gonna have problems climbing. It takes a lot longer to climb now this season, and as I said, I climb all the roles this season. It's just it's not even a sense of like I'm not good enough to go. It's more like I gotta hit that dice roll. Are you just okay enough for me to carry? Yes. Are you playing a champ you don't know? I guess I just lose this game because you just like, and you're already guaranteed loses. It just sucks that percentage is increased because players are choosing to like be bad. And the thing is like, you can't matchmake for that, right? Like if you matchmake for that, There's just no way. What do you do? Ban people? Right?
Yeah,
Like,
and it's kind of like whoever doesn't tilt usually wins right now too. Like
mm-hmm.
it's very if you can keep your mental and keep your team cool,
Mm-hmm.
then you're generally gonna come out on top more than not. Just because the player base is so prone to tilting now and like just repeating what their favorite streamer says, you know?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And
which
once again, like the system's not designed to filter that. So
right,
then we have a game that's good, but a community doesn't care, and it's like that's the problem. Like the 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 competitiveness is driven by the community, and when that
right.
loses its dignity, I guess you could say, then the game just falls flat on its face. And I hate that. I hate that because it's like, what do you do? Like you're just in
Yeah,
a
I
really
mean,
crappy
like
position.
I think the last like season or two,
Mhm.
like it's actually been some of the most balanced uh
Yeah.
patches, other than like new champs and like rework
Okay,
champs.
that doesn't count.
If you take those out, like it's been some of like the most like yeah, you can kind of play whatever you want,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Um, whereas like season 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 was probably the last season that there was just like very clear power picks,
Yeah.
and if you're not picking this group of champs,
Yeah.
you're a troll.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if they pick one and you don't, like you just insta lose unless you're a one trick.
Yeah. And I
Um,
remember, right, like blogging a lot about that, blogging about how we want every champion to feel like it has a potential to carry, whether it's early, later, whatever. But the
sure.
problem is once it started happening later on into the season, the jungle started to be in that place where it's like
Yeah.
non-junglers come in, and the junglers that are junglers can't contest with the actual good junglers. So you have a fat batch of like, we can't play you, a small batch of like, we can play you, and then like another small batch of like, you don't even belong in the jungle, but we can play
Hey,
you.
I don't know that it was a big patch of playable. Like it was, if you're not a level 3 gank jungler, like
Don't forget the
don't.
no. Don't forget the
Well,
farm meta. Don't forget that. Okay,
okay.
that
Oh
that
man.
killed a lot of junglers off of
Ah,
it. That killed a lot of
yes.
junglers off.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. So there was that meta where you have to have AOE, and if you don't, like, you fall behind no matter
Yeah,
what.
yeah,
Or the
exactly,
way to not fall behind is make every single gank successful,
exactly. Yeah, and
or
tax
then you lose.
heavily. Yeah, and
Yeah,
tax
yeah.
heavily.
And then there was, I think it was this season, wasn't it? The level 3 ganking junglers. Was
Yeah,
that the beginning of the
that
season?
that was the beginning, and then they changed it because we don't want you ganking too much, so we're gonna turn it back to farming. And then once again, you're
Uh-huh.
ruining a whole host of junglers, and then it's like,
Right.
oh, actually, this is not a good idea. We're gonna turn it back to like the level 3 gankers, and it's like, well, what do y'all want? Y'all don't even know how to balance this dang role, man. Like, what?
Oh, by the way, here's Morgana and Rumble just because.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, I guess we can't fix these champions that can't farm, but what we can do is add more champs that can. Yeah, they have
Oh,
AoE. They have AoE. Change their numbers. Do it. I'm writing it off. It's like, okay. All right, then. I guess I guess
yeah.
being a jungler doesn't mean anything when I can support mid lane and jungle and top if I really wanted to at the same time.
Yeah, right.
Like what the what? Who thought of that? Okay, next question here. How did you find out about me, or how did you meet me?
So, I mean, at some point, I just wanted to get better and, like, not suck at the game.
Mm.
And, like, I was taking the steps to do that. Like, um, I was in a spot in MSI Season 6 when I first started to absorb a lot of content. And, like, and when I say a lot of content, I mean, like, an abnormal, like, unhealthy amount of content.
Yeah, sometimes
Like,
too much is a little bit
so,
too much.
so I worked, like, a 4 to 10 job just delivering pizzas.
Mhm.
And so all night I would game / absorb content,
Yeah, I had something like that
and
too. Yep.
and I wouldn't get up until like 2 o'clock
Yep,
because
that was
I didn't
me.
go to sleep until like 5.
That was
Right?
me.
Like
That was
whatever,
me, man. That was me.
just living the life. And then when I was at college too, there's a bunch of downtime to just absorb content.
Yeah.
So, with that, I was browsing Gamer Sensei,
Oh,
an old name. I'm sure you remember.
I'm sure.
I think you were probably one of the first, if not the first, to be honest. And then from there, like I would try other people
Mhm.
here and there, just kind of jump around. And then for some reason I talked to you again, and I think I did 3 times before your actual site came up.
Mm-hmm.
And when your actual site came up, like we started being more regular and like really, really grindy about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gamer Sensei.
Okay.
Very, very old. Like I've gone on it recently, and it just looks like, why did I?
Whoa!
Like
That's his opinion. Don't shoot the messenger.
So like in this day and age, like there's so many, whether it's a streamer, whether it's a content creator, all these people offer coaching. Like one that, like, if I didn't care about money and like I just had an unlimited supply, like Nice is one that I would really want to hear his opinion on.
I hear that a lot, actually. Yeah,
because Nice is just like, I love the way he talks about the game. He's very macro focused. He's very I don't care what your team or champion does. You can win the game.
Yeah. And, a lot of coaches have a different outlook on the game a lot, and that's something that I tell people when they're looking for coaches, because I'm an honest person. Like, if I feel like you don't need coaching, I'm gonna tell you. If I feel like you don't need me, you need someone else, I'll tell you. I mean, everybody likes money, but I'm just not that way. I want to be as honest as possible with people. And the one thing I tell them is make sure you can have that chemistry with that person, right? Like you with Nisi, like you said, what you just said, like that sounds like if you had a talk with them, you would probably have that chemistry. I mean, it is what it is, and that's what you want to look for. So, like, to your point, that's something to really focus on. As you said, like, with unlimited money, yeah, but there are a lot of other coaches too that are cheaper or even free. And the best thing is to find that chemistry, because that's how you know that person will help you out like the most. But you can go ahead and continue what you were saying.
The only thing I would say is, please never pay LS to yell at you. Please, just
wait. You're shooting everybody. You're shooting Sensei. You shoot LS.
Look, I think so. Like, LS is just a meme, and I love to watch his coaching because he's like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Are you stupid?"
He does do that a lot,
and like he just kind of like emotionally abuses you and verbally abuses you for an hour. And the real like thing about it is that he teaches is play a champion that takes 0 mechanics, play Malzahar, Orianna, Annie, right? He's gotten away from Annie just because she's not super meta.
Yeah, I always tell people that, yeah.
And learn wave management, and that's it. If you do those 2 things well, LS will probably kiss the ground you walk on.
Dude, Tarzan used to be in that realm of like abusing you, so to speak. That sounds so bad, but that's the best way I can put it.
I believe it.
While he teaches you, but he got away from that. I don't really watch him too much, but I do know I've seen some of his coachings very recently, and he doesn't act like that anymore. He doesn't act like the same Tarzan that he was before.
He kind of reformed now. Like, is he like trying to clean up?
Yeah, like I think that's what's going on. I don't know, but he's way nicer when he coaches now. He understands what the student's doing, and he understands like, okay, I see that you see it this way, but you got to fix it. Like, it's a lot more understanding. I mean, he's still himself, don't get me wrong, but it's not the same. So either A, like you said, he's reforming, or B, that just wasn't his true self in the first place, and that's just what he was known for, and that's what you stick with, like Tyler won.
True.
The next question here, we'll try to push us along a little bit. So why did you feel like you needed coaching? Just in general.
So there's two ways that I look at it. Like now and, well, more now. Back then it was just like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I am super fed every game or most games, and then I just lose. Win lane, lose game, right? But now I look at it 2 ways. I either am stuck and I don't know how I should be improving, and like I'm not like seeing a constant mistake, or like I don't know how to fix that mistake, or like the other day, right? Like I'm on a hot streak, and like in my last 60 games or something, I'm 60% win rate, right? Like I'm gaming out here.
Yeah.
But there's the outlier games that are like, okay, there's still problems, but I don't know why some of these games are happening when majority of my games I'm just gaming.
Yeah.
So like it's either you're stuck or you're playing well, but like if you're playing well, you still shouldn't be afraid to ask for coaching and ask for help, because you're not 100% win rate, you're not 80% win rate, you're not 7. You know, like that. There's always something you can be doing better, and having that attitude and not like, well, but coach, like you don't understand. Like this is why I did this, and like just being combative and just being a fucking ass about it, right? Like it's like, look, don't ask to get coached if you don't have an open mind.
All right.
And you can't be wrong, because if you can't be wrong, you can't be helped.
Right.
I will see you in iron on my Smurf.
A lot of people that have actually a lot of potential and actually do run into the same thing where it's like, well, I don't really know what I'm doing. And they're afraid to get coaching, even if it's free. They're afraid to get coaching because they think it doesn't work. But the thing is, it's not the coach's job to play. The coach's job is to help you see what your potential is, and then you move on with it. And I think if people really see it more that way, see it more that, okay, you know, my coach's job is to just make sure I'm on the right track, make sure that I'm going. And it's not a magic pill. It's something where, like, this coach, even if you're not getting coached by them every step of the way, you still need to be asking questions. You still need to be following up, because they're just like a teacher, right? You don't pay your teacher. I mean, unless you're in college, but like that's give or take. Stuff happens there. But, you know, you have that teacher, and if they really care about you, hey, see me after class. Okay, what do you need help with? They're not getting paid for this. They're after class, and they're helping you. I mean, maybe they are technically still on the clock, but you know what I mean. Like, some teachers don't care. Some teachers do care. And you want to check back. You want to check back repeatedly. I think the problem is, because people may feel like it's a one-time thing, it's a pill, they think, I don't need it. I don't need it.
Or it doesn't work immediately, and they get mad.
True.
And they blame you.
True.
When to start that improvement process, you have to first go back, because you're doing things like, let's say you're working on unlocked camera or CSing. You have to get in practice tool, boys. If CSing is your if you're an ADC, just practice CSing 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks, and I promise you will out CS all your opponents always.
Yeah.
But you have to put in, like, you can't be afraid to put in the time either, because ultimately practice tool helps, but you can't replicate the enemy just fighting you during it, right? Like, you have to be able to, you get good at CS, but how do I keep my CS while being harassed and trying to harass?
Right.
So, like, you have to take a step back before you take 2 steps forward.
Right.
Because you're playing a different game than you're used to. You're focusing on different things. You have to retrain your brain.
Right. I 100% agree. You know, then the best thing, honestly, for everybody that thinks, oh, hey, I don't know if I need coaching, just ask. Ask them. It don't even have to be a coach. Ask a friend. Okay, honestly, I've heard some stories about some friends being like, dude, coaching, don't do that. Okay, ask multiple freaking friends. Ask the players that are actually good at the game. Don't ask your friend that's a little bit lower elo than you. Don't ask your friend that's freaking gold. You have to ask somebody that you look up to. Somebody or somebody even in actual life that is actually really successful. Be like, hey, do you think coaching is a good thing? Don't even tell them what it's for. Just, do you think it's a good thing? And I promise you, they seek some type of help to get to where they are. Nobody gets to where they are without anything.
Any successful professional person may not have gotten coaching, but they've had a mentor, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
like, obviously there's the one-offs, but again, like, don't just ask your friends. Honestly, ask yourself, right? Like, face your results.
Right.
Look them in the face and say, what do I honestly think? If take the nameplate off, what do I think of this player?
Right.
Is he playing well? So I'm not somebody who will VOD review my own stuff, because I generally know what I'm thinking. But if it's not working, that's when I'm like, okay, hey Blaker, like, why am I wrong, essentially, right? Like, why is this not work? Like, in my brain, like, hey, look, TSM just runs down mid after 20 minutes every game. Why does that not work for me? What's the difference?
Right. And like, and the thing is, like, you, I'm not trying to sell you anything, and he's not trying to sell you anything either. I mean, I think you still do coach, right? Or is it not as much
I
anymore?
mean, kind of, but not really. Like, I just don't make the time to. Like, I don't
Okay.
care enough.
Okay, I got you. But I'm not paying him to say anything. He's not saying anything because he knows me and I'm his coach. I'm his friend. I'm asking for his honest opinion. So he's going to give it. And you guys know that I'm honest. Like, I wouldn't bring anybody on here if I didn't think they were going to be honest with you. So what he's saying is pretty much what he thought before he, seen a coach, before and even after he has seen a coach, right? Let's see. Now, a couple more, and then we'll go ahead and come to the conclusion.
Yeah.
So the second thing that I want to ask here is, do you think coaching helped? Like, what is a sign that coaching has helped you? Like, how do you know?
Look at your win rate, right? Like, did I get better at what coach said I was bad at?
The way you put it.
Did like, so let's say let's say coach says my CS is 3 a minute. Well, did that number go up?
Hmm.
Did that number go up and you keep winning? Winning doesn't really matter as long as you're improving.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask you that.
Uh,
Do you think that winning is indicative of like being coached? Like, if it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting better, but I'm not winning and I'm actually demoting. Like, do you think that's fair to be like, well, coaching is just not for me then? Like, how would you even know? Like, what is the
so
sign?
this is the problem with like people who uh don't play 200 to 300 ranked games at least a season, right? Like let's just say 1 to 200 even,
Okay.
right? Like not everybody has a bunch of time. I barely have time, right? Like I work 9 to 7 every day, and I have an hour drive there and back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have about 300 games on my main,
Mm-hmm.
and I also have an alt that I have probably 100 on.
And you usually
So
play about 4 or 5 games a night, really, if anything. If you dodge, it's
depending on the night,
yeah,
yeah. But like, so if you play half the games, if you don't play half the games I do on one account, then you have such a small sample size, you don't know if you're improving or not. So like, it's if you're putting in the work after coaching,
Mhm.
and let's say you play 20 games of ranked after getting coached over however long, right?
Right.
And your win rate stays the same. Well, did I like? So is it a maybe coach thought I was doing the wrong things wrong? The wrong things wrong? I guess that is right. And so was he like off on what I was doing?
I know what
wrong?
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it like there's different problems? Because like when the lower elo you are, like no flame, doesn't matter what you think is low elo, like iron, bronze, silver, whatever.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm anywhere near high elo at fucking plat, right? Like plat's trash too. I promise. It's just awful. Only egos. um, but like if you're iron, you have so many things to improve on that doing just one thing right should skyrocket. Like
True.
you should insta climb.
Yeah.
Whereas as a gold player, you still have a bunch to improve on, but it may not make you skyrocket the same, right? Because the players are better. There's more that you have to do right to win a game the higher you go.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So it's all about perspective, and realistically, no matter what, your win rate should go up.
Right.
Like I think win rate is very indicative of that.
Yeah.
And just being honest, again, being honest with yourself is what a lot of it comes down to.
Right. And you have to understand, right? Their system isn't designed to, hey, you're doing good. Here's a reward. Here, you're doing good. Here's a win.
Sucks.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you do well, you lose. You do poor, you win. Like, who cares? The system doesn't know when you're doing something better except your mastery. Like, that's like probably one of the only things that really, you get more points based off how you did. You get a better grade.
Right. Yeah.
But once again, that doesn't really signify you've been doing things right. That just signifies you've been CSing properly, or you've had more gold than the average booty,
Right.
as you could say.
Right.
And that, once again, doesn't really show that you're doing the best you should be just because you got a grade for it. And so when you're going into coaching, you have to really think about, like I said, this isn't a magic pill. You know, my job is to help you get better. There's going to be a lot of tools that you have to be good at. And although this one tool that we helped fix isn't the one that's going to skyrocket you, like you just said, it's something to help later. Because the last thing you want to do is work on one thing, shoot to diamond, shoot to master. You have to know all this extra stuff. You didn't learn it, you're going to shoot right back down. What's the point?
Right.
You wasted your time.
And real quick off that point, like that's why I don't really buy into the how to climb the fastest version of coaching, because Nice has a podcast too, right? And Nice has talked about it before. Like there's I'm learning everything, and I'm playing to improve, or I'm playing to climb.
Right.
If you're playing to climb, you're not necessarily going to get better at the game.
Right.
So when you hit a plateau, it's going to be harder to. When you hit that like glass ceiling, it's going to be harder to break through that, because
for sure.
You're handicapping yourself so much.
As an example, like Tryndamere players, it's very easy to climb if you just sit in that lane, crap on your laner, and just push. But you're going to get to a point where like you can't do that anymore, and you're going to have a laner that just sits there and be like, okay, I guess we're just chilling. Then what do? You lose.
Right.
So it's a big difference, and that's what I tell people, to learn what you like, because it's a lot easier to adapt to every situation if you're just having fun with the game, if you're having fun with your champion. Me, I love Udyr. I mean, obviously this season has been kind to me, but every season I would play him, and even though if I lose, I'm like, hey, I'm chilling, I'm farming, you know, I'm knocking down towers. Where you at? You chasing me? I'm juking. Like that's fun to me. I like running through people, but at the same state, like I might not be winning, but it's easy to figure out what I'm doing wrong, because I'm way more consistent with a character I've been playing nonstop. There's a student that, and I'll make the story short here. There's a student that I coach, and he plays Darius. He comes to me. This is the time where Striker got nerfed. He doesn't allow dashing anymore. He's like, Coach. I was like, well, I said, why are you playing Darius? He has a 4-game lose streak. He started playing Set. One of his other mains. I was like, why aren't you playing Darius? He was like, well, Striker got nerfed, and I'm losing. So I look at his stuff. I figure out what's wrong. But I'm just like, you know, okay, so what we're going to do with this session, I'm going to make you play Darius. And you can kind of hear it in his voice, because he's like, he's one of my students. Like, I coach his father, and then I coach his son. So I'm coaching his son at this point. And he gives me that kind of voice, you know, as a kid, when it's like, oh, I really don't want to. So he does it. I hear it. I'm like, did you just? He was like, no, I don't care. I don't care. And I was like, no, I heard that. And so he's like, so he plays. This man ends 25-2, 2 pentakills. All I noticed in his play, I was like, you're always dying 2 to 4 minutes in, whether you're killing somebody or not. Just don't do anything for 8 minutes. If you do anything, it's because they walk into you. Don't do anything for 8 minutes. He was like, okay. So he tried it. It was hard, but he did it. Comes out of lane, pentakilling everybody, ends 25-2. At the end of the game, I'm like, so, is it Strikebreaker or is it you? He was like, it's me. And I was like, yeah, I know. You know, I don't. Yeah. I don't coach for no reason. I know what I'm talking about. So it's really interesting when you see stuff like that. And so that's why it's important, once again, to know your main, because you couldn't pull that off with just a random champion. And swapping the set, he loves set, don't get me wrong, he's a set player too. It's like you're gimping yourself. It's a lot easier to figure out what's wrong if you just constantly play what you know.
Yeah.
Couple of questions here, last ones. Do you think coaching is worth it? What, in your opinion, do you think coaching is worth it? Once again, he's not telling me anything. This is his opinion.
Yeah. So it depends what you want to get out of League. If you just want to get better but don't care about your rank, no. There is so much free content on YouTube. Just do it. Like if you truly want to get better, like even me, like I could do that, but I don't want to watch Saber's 1.5 to 2 hour long coaching sessions, even though I love learning from him because he's so good. I don't want to make that time. So is what it is.
Right.
But if your goal is truly to climb and you truly don't know why you're not climbing, then yeah, like why wouldn't you? Right? Like you don't have to want to go pro to be better at a game. Like you can do it for any reason. You can do it because you want to be better than your friends. You can do it because you need to stroke your ego and say I'm high elo. It's over 2+, by the way.
You're a fool, dude. Yeah, I mean he's not wrong. Multiple of my students, I've had one student that actually made it to LCS. I have one student that,
who was that, by the way? Like actually.
I'm not gonna say his name. I'll tell
Okay,
you.
will
Look,
you-
I'll
will
tell
you
you by
message me
yourself.
after?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. But
Like, I'm genuinely curious.
I don't take credit for him. That's why I don't put his name anywhere.
Okay, that's fair.
I will say it, but I'm not gonna like just say that because obviously he puts in a freak ton of work himself. Right?
So, just small actual question.
Go ahead.
At what point did you coach him?
I coached him when he was silver. Or I don't. He came to me. I forgot about him. He came to me. He was like, "Dude, you helped me." I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, when I was silver." He was like, "What?" I was like, "Oh,
Nice.
that's cool." And he was like, "I'm challenger now." I was like, "What the what?" I was like, "What did I even help you with?" He was like, "You helped me with lady." I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm not gonna say his role because I'm kind of narrow stuff down. I was about to.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But then he's like, "Yeah, you helped me." He's like, "I'm also in the academy." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." So he was like just playing with me for a little bit. We started. We were playing. He was doing with me, I think, or it was normals. Actually, I think it was normals. We were just chilling. And he was just playing with me, playing with a couple of my viewers. And then he was like, "All right, I gotta go now." And I was like, "Well, for sure, but like, thanks for stopping by." And then he just left, and then that was that. But it was to know that I left an impression on someone to come to my stream like
That's
years later to be like, "Hey, dude, thank you." It's like, wow, man.
That's insane.
And like I said, that was one player. Another player just wanted to be good for like a what is that thing where you guys like a league? He just wanted to be good for a league. He became one of the top 3 top laners for his league out of like I think it was 10 to 12 teams, and he was like one of the best. And then the rest of the players are usually just like, hey, I'm a family man. I want to have fun with my son or my daughter. She wants to be something, and I want you to help with that. Or it's like, hey, I just want to get better for me. Like, there's not many people that's like, hey, I just really want to be pro. Because realistically, you don't have to get coaching because you want to be a pro. I know it's like a gaming scene, so maybe some people are like, you get coaching because you want to. No, just if you want to be better. If you want to feel like you're not wasting your time on this game. If it's okay if you are. But like when I want to play something, I'm competitive. I'm serious. I'm like, I gotta win. Even if it's normals, bro, you best believe I'm trying. And that's my state. And if you feel like that, if you feel like, hey, I want to get better, I'm tired of being in this rank, I want to improve, I want to be better for myself, I think that's the time where it's like I can get that coaching. Because you don't have to get it every week. You don't have to get it every day.
Right.
You could get it every what? 2, 3, 4, 5 months, every year, whatever. I'm still here, you know?
Yeah. Like that's the thing too. Like I said, like I came to Blaker like probably first, and then probably like a year later, and then a year after that. Like we were very like until what a year and a half ago, like we were very like every once in a while, and then you were like, hey, join my Discord. I remember you for some reason, probably because of your fat ego.
Yeah.
Shit, like and so I was like, huh, seems actually kind of legit. I mean, I guess I want to get, like I personally, I'm not somebody who likes to just stagnate and just kind of sit there and be bad. Like, and I'm not somebody who's like, I want to play for fun, because like if you want to play for fun, you shouldn't be playing ranked anyways, right? Or like if you don't care about winning, don't play ranked. Yeah. You're part of people's like mental booms.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Just hating.
You're like that gear.
There's just no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And then just the last question here, kind of a tie on to that one, is: do you think coaching is for everyone? Let's say I am a type that wants to get better, but realistically, do you think coaching's for everyone, even if they are somebody who really cares?
No. Like I said, there's a lot of free content. That's not coaching. You're learning from other people's coaching. You're just absorbing content. I think coaching's a way to expedite it a little bit because, I mean, you're one-on-one. Not all coaches are like, hey, yeah, just message me whenever and actually answer you like your smile.
A little soft plug.
But actually, like, that's one of like Blaker's big upsides too, right? Like a lot of so one of my friends recently was like, hey, I think I'm gonna get coaching, and I was like, hey, go to my coach. Like he does good stuff. Like me and him think about the game semi-similarly. He's just higher ranked than me, whatever. And he was asking me before. He was like, he doesn't seem high elo. Like he doesn't seem like a challenger player. And I was like, dude, since when does rank matter for a coach? Just because you don't have hands doesn't mean you can't teach the game, bro. Like, like,
or isn't that? But okay, no. You're right.
I'm not saying this is your situation, but in all honesty, like you don't have like that. Hey, like you haven't even been masters, right? Like it was just high diamond.
Yeah, just high
If I'm right.
diamond. Diamond two.
Yeah.
Diamond
So
two.
like, and like, who cares? Like, you're not a a. Are you diamond two? If not, he can clearly teach you something, and he's done it. You
Side
can
note:
learn
I've
something,
coached
buddy.
people higher than me too. I've coached
Exactly,
masters. I've coached
and that's the thing.
grandmasters.
Like he can coach people higher than him because our LCS coaches all challenger right now. When the game has like not an inflated player base, but it's got a better player base, like we were talking about earlier, like the community improves.
Right.
Are they all challenger every season? No. Why are they? Why do they have jobs then? Because they know how to teach people to win, or they're good facilitators.
Right.
Like there's so many reasons. But in this situation, like, yeah, you can teach somebody how to win a game without being able to do it against better players yourself.
Right.
Maybe you don't have the reaction time. Maybe you don't have the mental. Maybe like you just don't have the time, right? Because coaches too, and Nisa's talked about this too. Like, yeah, he was constantly challenger whenever he wanted to be, basically mid Tryndamere or top Tryndamere, whatever he wanted to play. But he's just like somewhere in diamond pretty consistently now, just because you can't have the time to full-time coach and be challenger.
Right, and on top of that, you already did it.
Time.
You already did it. What's the point?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get more sales because you're a higher rank. If you're a bad coach, you're a bad coach. It is what it is. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, and I've had challengers send their friend to me. They're like, dude, I'm like, first of all, I'm like, why can't you coach them? Because you're challenger. They always answer the same way. Just because I'm a challenger doesn't mean I can coach. I just can't handle that. And
may not be able to communicate well with people.
Yeah, exactly. I climb my way. My job as a coach is to teach you how to climb your way. If he only knows how to climb his way, what do you do?
That's true.
So
That's true.
They can give you tips, but it's just not the same. So yeah, I do agree. I think coaching, isn't for everybody. And like I said, that's why I don't try to sell people on it, because if you don't need it, you don't need it. But the ones that do get it, the ones that do feel like they need it, some of them, they improve quickly. I had a student that went from gold to diamond in less than a week, had 2 sessions. Or was it 3? Regardless, he really wanted to stream, and he was in college, and he was like, dude, I just want to stream. I don't want to be bad. And I get a lot of that, honestly. And he he hit that like that, and he's like, hey, coach, I'm diamond. And I was like, what the fuck, how? And he was like, well, I just really wanted it. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that worked. And then you have some students that take a little bit longer, and in which case, it's my job to figure out, what's going on and what's the problem. I had a student, last story. I had a student that, you probably know who you are if you're watching this. I had a student that was doing really well. Started doing, lost like 10, 12, 14 games in a row. And I'm like, we just had you on a win streak, hardcore. What's going on? And then they were like, well, I just what I started to do with my friend, and then I just, thought that these are just bad games, and I just got to the point where it's like, do you want to climb or do you want to have fun with your friend? And if they're truly a friend, they'll understand, like, hey, I'm not talking about you, by the way. I know that story is kind of similar, but I'm not talking about you. You only lost 3, I think. So, it's not the same. But, they were like, I want to get better. I want to climb. And I was like, okay, well, just cut it off after 1. 1 lose. I do that with everybody. If you've ever do it with me, I'm going to just say, hey, 1 lose and we're done. I don't care. Unless it's some troll or something like that. Same thing. I'm like, just tell them no. If they're a true friend, they'll be like, yeah, I got you. Go ahead and do your rank. I'm like, play normals. Play with a Smurf. You got other means of playing with people. Don't let that excuse of I want to play with someone be why you tank. If you're not winning, you're not winning. Because it's going to be a lot harder to climb yourself back up if your MMR is just tanked completely. So, as I said, that was pretty much my last story there. Minus, I do appreciate you being here, man. It's awesome to hear from you. It's awesome to hear your thoughts on things. Once again, it's awesome to hear an honest opinion on stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, I could bring anybody just saying BS, but he's been through it all. He's been through the ringer, and it's really cool to just know, like I said, as I told him before we even started, that an average Joe Blow gets coaching. I mean, it's not like you have to be anything, out of the ordinary. I have a job. Yeah. Yes. I can afford coaching. Yes. Do I want it? Okay. No, I don't. Okay, don't take it. Like,
well, that's my last mini side point here is, like, if you don't think you need coaching or you don't want coaching, don't get coaching.
Yeah.
Like, it's clear, like, you have to be in the right mindset to accept somebody else's advice.
Exactly.
Because, again, I can tell, like, by my recent matches, like, I can tell you what went wrong that game or why I think that game went bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, just because I think that too doesn't mean that that's what really happened. Like,
exactly.
What if I'm the problem? Hey, maybe I need to find out if I'm the problem.
Right.
Hey, I'm not the problem. Great. How can I prevent this anyways, though?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to go in with a pessimistic view on coaching. Right. I've had that a lot before. I'm just a very good person to talk to. That is like tooting my own horn.
Not true.
But I could talk to people, and so when I know that's how they're thinking, it's very easy for me to just like switch that mind frame because I've been coaching for too long. I've been part of that. Before I used to be like scared to deal with it, but when I see people doing that, it's just like, okay, that's the mindset you're in. I got to get you out of that. And then by the end of the session, they're like, okay, this actually works. And it's like, yeah. What do you mean this actually works? I'm working. You know, it's a job.
I can do this actually. Did you know that?
For real, dude. For real. And even if it's just a VOD review, I have VOD reviews on my site. It doesn't have to be a straight on coaching. Some people don't have time. Like I thought a lot. Hey, coach, I don't have time to like actually get an hour coaching. Can I just get a VOD review? Is that worth it? Yeah. As long as you can receive the information that I'm giving you, it's fine. And once again, I'm always there for questions. So there's really no reason to not be like, hey, coach, I got a question. I'll answer you when I can. But yeah, as I said, Minus, I appreciate your time. If you guys want a discount, did I say 20%? It's 20% off. Use his name, Minus. MINUS.
Spelling's hard, bro. I get you.
Hey, look, my thought process
a coach,
is...
not a teacher.
Yeah, my thought process is if you can't have fun while coaching, it's going to be very, very hard to learn. All right, that's what I'm going to use. No, I'm only kidding. But yeah, Minus, use that code, link in the description below for the site, and obviously the code will be down there too. Use that code, get 20% off. I'm going to have it limited, so it's not going to have time frames, just first come, first serve. Going to get it for us, just a thanks for watching the VOD, the video. And yeah, I mean... I took a lot of your time, man, and like I said, I really do appreciate that. So, a final say, thank you once again. If you guys have any questions for me or him, go to his Twitch, -2 coins, link in the description below. I'll link that. You know, don't expect God tier gameplay. I coached him, so. We just shot both of us in the foot there.
Look, we meme out here, all right? Like, you want sometimes highlight plays, sometimes like. I'm a monster sometimes.
He is really good sometimes. Not gonna lie, he is.
Other times it's a little yikes, but it's fine. It's fine. We get through it. We're climbing, okay?
Oh man, but yeah, remember discount guys, 20% off. Use his name. Link in the description below if you want to check him out. I'm pretty sure he'll answer anything. He's very chatty when you talk in chat. So ADC player as well. So if you want to learn from him, once again, he has a very smart mind. You don't really, like I said, always need a coach.
Not true.
And he's obviously coached before. He just doesn't do it anymore. So any questions to him, he could still help you out no matter what. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching and listening. I appreciate it. This has been Coach Blaker's podcast number 10. Look out for number 11. Thank you guys. See you later.